Hi everyone, happy February. This month is, as you all know, one that is focused often around that 4-letter word, L-O-V-E. And while I think that is absolutely wonderful, we should be telling people in our lives that we love them all the time and celebrating that. I wanted to focus today just around a bit of a offshoot of that being self-love. And self-love is kind of interesting in many ways these days, because I do feel like it's a topic that's almost trending. And I really don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a really good thing. I think we all really need a little bit more self-love in our lives, because when we are able to love ourselves more fully and accept all parts of ourselves, we can then one, show others that that's okay too and give others permission, but also it allows us to be better humans in our lives when we're interacting with others. So self-love, great. Today though, I'm going to be sharing a recipe that I have formulated to show you how to use herbs to help with some self-love. And for many people that looks very different, but I'd say, and this is focused more for menstruating folks, but we can all use a little bit more self-love when it comes to balancing stress and hormones and building up our body's resilience to those negative effects of stress. So I'm going to be focusing today's recipe around a really cool product that's made by Harmonic Arts. You guys know I love Harmonic Arts. They're my go-to brand for all things herbal. So this one here is it's called Radiance, and it is a restorative blend of herbs. The 3 kind of main herbs in here, or 4 main herbs, are going to be shatavari, which is a great herb for balancing female reproductive health, supporting that, helping with healthy hormones. It also has 2 of my favorite adaptogens, which is really cool. And adaptogens are herbs that help build our body's resilience to the negative impacts of stress. So Schizandra is one. Love this one for females. It's very balancing. It actually has a pretty good flavor to it too. It's almost like a really tart berry. Well, that's exactly what it is. But it tastes like a tart berry too, if you think of like kind of a tart cranberry-esque flavor. It's used a lot in traditional Chinese medicine. And I like to use it in a lot of my tincture formulations that I formulate for my patients to really balance out the blend and encourage synergy among the herbs. Another favorite of my adaptogens is ashwagandha. I think a lot of people out there have heard of ashwagandha. Doesn't tend to taste the best, but in this blend it really works, and I am adding some other flavors to help mask the flavor, but it's such a great herb for, oh hi, for those who are stressed and have a lot of anxiety in their life. Some of the adaptogenic herbs can be a little bit more stimulating. Ashwagandha tends to be a little bit more calming. Great for those who have difficulty sleeping, those who are kind of what we call wired but tired. So that's people who are tired throughout the day and wired in the night. Ashwagandha is a great herb for that. Yeah, just tends to be a little bit more calming, grounding for those who are under a lot of stress and anxiety. This one also has brown seaweed extract, great for the gut. We need a healthy gut to be processing and detoxing our hormones, specifically our estrogens. And it also has lotus pollen and maca, goji juice, and ginger. I'm not going to go into depth into all of those herbs, but basically this blend is really good for just supporting female reproductive health, healthy hormones, gives your skin a nice glow, which we all love. Yeah, so that's that. I'm also going to be adding to that something to give it a bit of flavor. I just got some organic cardamom powder. I love cardamom as a spice. I've always loved it. I remember the first time I probably experienced a recipe that was like very cardamom heavy, and I was just very much in love. But this is a very warming spice, and so in February here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're still a little cold. And so having some warming spices in here is gonna, one, increase circulation in the body, and two, just make you feel a little bit more cozy. Your digestion's gonna be a little bit better. We need to support that digestive fire to properly be digesting our foods. So cardamom, great for that. And then I love this time of month, or sorry, this time of year, using lots of rose petals. We all know rose is a herb that symbolizes love, and we can definitely use it to symbolize self-love here. And it's got a really wonderful flavor to it too. It's, yeah, you guys all know what rose tastes like, but it's not like, reusing real rose petals is not like perfumey or grandma. I won't throw my grandma under the bus because she always smells really good, but maybe my great grandma had like a fake perfumey smell rose. I don't know. Someone in my life did, and I hated it, but this is very nice. It's my middle name too, so I'll take it. And then I'm just gonna top it with some lavender petals as well, because I think they're really pretty. For the base of it, I've really been loving oat milk these days. I think it froths up quite nicely and steams up quite nicely, but I was just at my local market, shout out to Market Garden in Vic West, Victoria, and I was sold on this barista edition by Elmhurst. It is an almond milk, but it doesn't have, like a lot of the barista blends out there have a lot of fillers, emulsifiers, things that aren't necessarily great for us, great for our gut health. This one does not have any of those things, and apparently, I have yet to use it, so we will find out, it steams and froths really nice, and I've got a milk frother. So yeah, I'm gonna try that, but you can use any sort of milk that suits your fancy. You can use oat milk, you can use cashew milk, you can use coconut milk, you could use regular milk if you really want to get crazy. So any type of milk. I'm gonna use about a cup, maybe a little bit more to fill my mug. So that's gonna be the base. And then in all of the drinks that I play around with and formulate, unless it's a coffee-based drink, I typically, if it's a heavy herbal drink, I typically recommend adding some form of sweetener. A lot of these herbs are earthy, bitter. Not everyone loves the taste. Some people do. I like the taste of some of them, but I think if you're making a nice drink where we're focusing on self-love, not only does it need to have some sort of medicinal action that's going to help support your body, but it's going to be something that you can sit and enjoy and not gag down. So I like to add a little bit of maple syrup. This one is a very fancy one. I don't normally buy this one, but it was all they had. And it is very good. You can see that one there. So I just add like a teaspoon, 1 to 2 teaspoons. You can do a bit more, totally up to you. That's the fun thing about playing around with herbal drinks, is you can really, yeah, play around with it. Make it your own. You don't have to follow my recipes. This is what I like, but if you want more sweetness, if you want less, go for it. All right, so I am going to do this. Hi, Althea. I hit all my dirty dishes. Don't judge me. I'll clean those up after. I'm gonna do this in this fancy tool. I've been sharing about this a little bit. This is the Breville, I think it's called the Milk Cafe. It's meant to be for like coffee and espresso. You steam and froth your milk in here, but I've been using it to make elixirs and matchas. So I'm gonna add everything into here. It's gonna steam it and froth it, and I will show you the finished product when I'm done.